Hello everyone, welcome to Honnaris Arts and Lifestyle channel. Today I will be showing you on how to keep a Kalash and what are the rituals that are associated with Kalash. Now, before I start briefing you about the rituals associated with Kalash, I just wanted to tell you all that the rituals followed from one family will differ with another family because we have got so much of diversity in India, and the same thing will hold good for South Indian to North Indian. Okay, like for example, in South India, when we are going to keep a daily Kalash, it is not mandatory that we need to use a cloth to wrap the Kalash with, but whereas in North India they usually use a red cloth. Okay, so again, when I say South India, it differs from family to family. The reason why I'm telling you all this is because in case if any of the rituals that I'm going to brief you now doesn't suit with what you're following right now, then please ignore this video, or please ignore the points which are not applicable for you. All the rituals that I'm going to tell you right now, they have been verified with the elders of my family as well as a couple of priests who worship in the temples. So one of the priests who has helped me in verifying the authenticity of this particular information is Sri Veda Brahma Rajendra Prasad, who worships in Siddharameshwara Swami temple, which is in Magadi Taluk, Ramanagara district in Karnataka. The reason why I'm doing this video is because a lot of you have been asking me to brief you about the rituals associated with Kalash. Like, what does Kalash represent? Which god does Kalash represent? When to set up the Kalash and when to remove the Kalash? When to change the Kalash, the coconut and the leaves for the Kalash, and so on and so forth. So first of all, let me tell you why many people keep Kalash in their puja rooms. Okay, Kalash is considered very, very auspicious, and it is actually a pratiroop of God. Okay, even if you don't have a photo, that is still fine. If you can just have one Kalash at your home, that will actually cover worshipping many gods. Okay, so it is as if the god is actually sitting in your puja room in the form of a Kalash. There is something called as Devate Ahwane. Okay, wherein we actually invite a Devate or a Deva to actually come and sit in the Kalash. Some people actually keep Kalash even for Shiva, Venkateshwara, and so on, but mostly Kalash actually represents the female goddess. I'll be telling you how to do all of these ahwane and all in the later stage of the video. Let me start with the basic Kalash setup, how we should be doing it, and what are the things associated with it. The first and the foremost thing is we need to take a plate or a bowl and fill it with rice. It is not mandatory that you have to take the lotus shaped bowl. You can take any bowl. Just make sure that once you keep the Kalash should be firmly sitting on that particular bowl. It should not shake. And please remember, in case if the Kalash falls down after you have worshipped it, it means it's a bad luck. Okay, so that is why you have to always ensure that the Kalash is sitting firmly on either the plate or the bowl, and the rice that we are going to put, it also helps in settling the Kalash firmly. For me, when I'm keeping the Kalash, I intend to worship Goddess Lakshmi, and that is the reason I'm keeping the lotus over here, as Goddess Lakshmi is always sitting on the lotus. Okay, so as you can see, I have filled this bowl with rice. Now the second thing we need is we need a Kalash like this. Okay, this particular Kalash can be of any material. It can be of copper, brass, silver, gold, anything for that matter. Do not use steel. Steel is not auspicious. Anything other than steel is okay. Now, one mandatory thing when you are keeping the Kalash is that you should not keep the empty Kalash. That is, ideally we should be filling this with water. Okay, and in case if you know that you will not be able to change this particular Kalash on a weekly basis or once in 15 days, then the alternate thing that you can do is you can fill this Kalash with rice also. Some people also use dry fruits to fill the Kalash during Varamaha Lakshmi festival. But usually keeping water is considered very auspicious. And the second thing is you should always put a coin inside this Kalash. Okay, like 1 rupee or a 2 rupee coin. People who are staying abroad, you can just use whatever the pence or the pounds coins that you are getting. Even those things can be used. And even if you are going to remove the water, wash it, and if you are going to keep it safely in a cupboard, even during that time you should not keep an empty Kalash. Okay, you should always put a coin inside, And don't tilt the kalash upside down and store it anywhere. The kalash should always be facing up. So over here I have actually filled this kalash with water and I have put a coin inside. The next thing is that the kalash should always have a Mangal Sutra in case if you are actually intending to worship a goddess. Okay, the Mangal Sutra can be made of gold like what I have, and if you don't have gold, don't worry about it. What you can do is you get the turmeric stick like this. Okay, so you will have to tie a thread to this. You will get the thick cotton thread, so cover that with turmeric. Just put a drop of water and turmeric and color the entire thread with turmeric and tie it to the turmeric stick. Okay, that itself will become Mangal Sutra. And in fact, this kind of a Mangal Sutra is considered more auspicious than this variety. Okay, and in fact, one of my aunt, she had actually told me that when I bought Durga to my house, she said that even if you are putting this type of a Mangal Sutra, even then it doesn't matter. You can just put that turmeric stick kind of Mangal Sutra also. That is very, very auspicious. Now, the next thing after you put Mangal Sutra is to keep the leaves onto the kalash. There are two types of leaves which are considered very auspicious. One is the mango leaves and the other one is the betel nut leaves. The number of leaves that you will have to keep for the kalash is either 3 or 5 or 9. Okay, so over here I have taken 5 each. It seems that betel nut leaves are considered more auspicious than the mango leaves. So either of them will do. In case if you are staying abroad and you are not able to get these kind of leaves, my elders also say that any green leaves should also do. Okay, like for example, if you have got a hibiscus plant over there, even the leaves from the hibiscus plant can actually be kept for the kalash. So basically kalash should have something green in it. Okay, like green leaves. Don't worry about the mango leaves going inside. We can always set it later. Now, once the leaves are arranged, the next one is keeping the coconut. So to keep the coconut, there are a few rules that we need to follow. First of all, the coconut should have the tender coconut water inside. Okay, so when you shake like this, you should get that sound. And the second one is the eyes of the coconut should not be seen. So this black dot that you are seeing over here, that is the eyes of the coconut. So this should not be seen. So when you are cleaning up this one for the coconut, make sure that you don't peel it too much, that the eyes of the coconut are seen. And the third one is that this particular line that you are seeing in the coconut, that should not be facing front. Okay, so if you keep turning the coconut like this, one of the faces, like the distance between two of these lines is called a face. Okay, so one of these faces is going to be very broad, like this is quite small. If I turn like this, even this is quite small. But if I turn like this, you can see if one line is over here, then the other line is over here. You can see how broad this is. So you will have to keep this as the front facing for the kalash. Okay, in this way. Ideally, I should not be using this kalash because the eyes are seen. But I'm just using this to show you how you can set up the kalash. And then keep the kalash on the rise. Make sure that it is sitting stiffly. So this becomes the basic kalash. Okay. There is no mandatory thing that we need to put jewels and clothes onto the kalash. Okay. That is something we do usually during the festivals. But even if you can keep a simple kalash like this, that is more than enough. And also what people do, especially in the temples, is that along with the water inside the kalash, they also put a few materials inside. Okay. Like they put ghee, milk, curd, gomutra, honey, vibhuti, kumkum, turmeric, akshata, and a patre or a flower. So when you are putting all of these items into the kalash, make sure that you're just putting a drop of it. So when I had kept 9 Kalash for my Navratri decoration, I had actually followed this particular ritual. And when you have to do the ahvana of a goddess or a god onto the Kalash, you will have to take akshata in your hand and call the name of the god or the goddess, and you will have to put the akshata 3 times on the Kalash. Some people also keep Lakshmi face or the god face onto the Kalash, okay? But it is not mandatory. You need not keep it every day. You can keep it during the festivals. And even if you don't have it during the festivals, that is still fine. Now, coming to when you can actually set up the Kalash. You can set up the Kalash on any day of the week. There is no problem with that. But there are certain rules in case if you want to remove the Kalash or you want to change it. You are not supposed to clean the Kalash during Amavasya, that is a new moon day, or during a Hunnime, that is full moon day, or during Tuesdays and Fridays, and even during festivals. Now, for example, let's say the festival was over on Monday, okay? The next day happens to be a Tuesday. Then you're not supposed to remove the Kalash and take it up for cleaning on Tuesday. Same thing will hold good for Friday also. Now, when will you take up the Kalash for cleaning? I'm not very sure on how often the Kalash has to be changed, but in my family, we change it every week or maximum once in 15 days, okay? And the rules that we actually follow is, as soon as the leaves start drying, immediately we change the Kalash, provided it's not a Tuesday or a Friday. And also the coconut should not have a crack. Sometimes what happens in summer is, even before 1 week is over, the coconut will leave a crack. So when such a thing happens, that is the best time wherein you can remove the entire Kalash, clean it, and then set up a new Kalash. One of the priests also told me that keeping a coconut for a daily puja for the Kalash is not mandatory. Even if you can have only water and the leaves, that is more than sufficient for the Kalash. But in my family, when it comes to Kalash, we always keep coconut. So coconut has been a mandatory thing that we follow in my family. So in summer, if you want to avoid the coconuts from cracking, what you will have to do is, you will have to clean the coconuts, keep it ready as if you are going to keep it for the Kalash. But then instead of keeping in the Kalash, you soak it in water overnight or for one whole day. And then you set up the Kalash. So that way you can actually avoid the coconuts from cracking. Alternatively, what you can also do is, as soon as you make the coconut ready, you just put it in a cover and keep it in the refrigerator. So usually what I do during summer is, I keep about 10 coconuts in the refrigerator all the time, so that I can just use one coconut at a time. The problem that I face in my current house is that the coconuts I get in the shops, they will have their eyes seen, okay? And also this will not be there for the coconuts. So even if this is not there, you cannot actually keep it for the Kalash. So I don't get very good coconuts at the place where I stay. My husband is having a coconut farm. Okay, so whenever we go to his native, we actually bring lots of coconuts, something like 30-40 coconuts, and we use it for cooking as well as for the Kalash. So that time when I'm actually getting the coconuts from there, I bring it and I keep it in the refrigerator so that it will actually last me for about 2 to 3 months. So even that can be done. Now, along with all these things, my mother also keeps a few of the items near the Kalash or beside the Kalash. It seems that these items will please Goddess Lakshmi. The name of those items are betel nut. The betel nut which is broken into two, we call it as batladke in Kannada. So you have to keep 2 of these betel nuts. In case if you are not able to get this kind of a betel nut, you can keep the whole betel nuts also. Then lotus seeds, that is 6 in number. Gomati chakra, again 6 in number. Then shells like this, we also call this as kavade in Kannada, that is also 6 in number. Then kasturi turmeric, 1 piece. 1 silver coin. Then cloves, again this is 6 in number. So all of these items that I have told you just now, you will have to keep this only in case if you are keeping a Kalash for a goddess. If you are keeping the Kalash for a god, that is like Shiva, Narayana and all, you don't have to keep these items. Along with all of these items, there is something else also which is available in the puja stores, and the name of that is Karimane Bichole in Kannada. We also call this Karimani Bichole as Sumangali set. So this single packet actually consists of a small mirror, a small comb, kajal, kumkum and turmeric, small black bangles, and small black beads mala. We call this as Karimani Sara in Kannada. So all of these items will be kept beside the kalash or on the rise. And along with all the items that I have told you just now, my mom also keeps this in the kalash on the rise. We call this as seru in Kannada. You will get this very small size, a very tiny size available in any of the silver shops. You will have to fill this with rice and put a very tiny silver coin in it, worship it, and then you can keep it in the kalash. All of these items that I am telling you right now, these are not mandatory. This is something that you can keep in case if the items are available to you. But even if you can worship the normal kalash without keeping any of these items, that will still do. To buy all of the items that I have told you just now, you can find them in this particular shop, and they also deliver the items across India. In case if you're staying abroad, just request them if they can actually deliver outside India also, and they might be able to do it. I'm not sure. Now, apart from all the things that I have told you until now, there is another special type of kalash which most of us don't know, and it seems that this type of a kalash is very, very, very auspicious. So what people do for this type of a kalash is they take the coconut, they don't peel the skin of the coconut too much, they just remove the outer layer and they keep the kalash in the normal way, okay? And what happens, they don't actually change the coconut at all. They keep the same coconut for about a year, and they also make sure that the coconut is always wet, okay? So eventually what happens, the coconut will start sprouting like this. Actually, this coconut I had used it for puja. That is, I had actually kept it in the kalash and I had worshipped it. But then later, what happened when I was removing the kalash, that is when I saw that the sprout had already come. Okay, and the sprout was actually pushing this part of the coconut. So that is why we have removed it. But then eventually, it started growing. So if the sprout comes out of this kind of a coconut, and if it starts growing, especially when you have kept in the kalash and you are worshipping, then it seems that this is very, very, very auspicious and the most auspicious form of kalash. Some people keep this kind of a kalash to grow until, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 feet in height. And in the initial stages, they don't need anything except for water. They don't need soil, they don't need sand, they don't need sunlight. So you can keep it in a dark place in your puja room also. That also should not matter. Actually, when I heard about this, I was very curious because people used to say that, the coconuts don't sprout inside the house in every house. Okay. You should be very lucky in case if the coconut is sprouting inside your house. So I was very curious. I wanted to see if the coconut will really sprout in my house. And I wanted to see how long will it take for the sprouts to come and will it really come in my house. Okay. And after 6 long months of waiting, it finally started sprouting, and it actually sprouted during Chaitra Navaratri. In this year, when I was celebrating the Chaitra Navaratri with all the Abhishekam that I used to do daily for Durga and Alankaram and all, during that time, both the coconuts sprouted at the same time. So when I told the Durga Parameshwari temple people that, actually two of the coconuts that have sprouted during this month, during this puja, they were very happy. They said that, can you give one of the coconut to my temple and we'll take care of it, and we will actually plant it over here and we'll take care of it. I was supposed to give this coconut to the temple during the last Navratri, but I could not give it because the priest was actually admitted to the hospital due to some health issues, and even they were not opening the temple because one of their relative passed away. So this is still there in my house, and see how big this has grown. So in case if you plan to actually keep this kind of a coconut, you will have to go to the market and find the person who sells the coconuts, and you will have to tell them that you actually want to plant the coconut so that it can sprout and become a plant. The shop people will select the right kind of a coconut and they'll give it to you, and you can use that to keep this kind of a kalash. So over here, this is not a kalash, okay? Please don't mistake that, because it has already started sprouting and I don't have this part of the coconut. I'm keeping this in this particular vessel so that it can be hydrated all the time. Eventually, I'll be planting this in a pot and then giving it to my in-laws so that they can plant it in their farm. My husband used to say that, what is so great in a coconut sprouting? Okay, the coconuts which fall in my farm, they sprout on their own. Okay, so sprouting outside your house is different. Sprouting inside your house, when you have kept it as a kalash, is a different thing. Okay, so sprouting inside the house, either when you have kept it as a kalash or you have not kept it as a kalash, is what is considered very auspicious. And in case if you feel like your coconut is drying, then what you can do is don't shake this coconut. Okay, if you shake the coconut, it seems that there is a flower right under this particular part, and if that falls down, then the sprout will go off. So you will have to take a big jug or a big bucket or a small bucket, fill it with water, and soak it in water for over a night. Okay, that will ensure that the coconut will keep hydrated. So sometimes you will have to do it on a weekly basis, like every week, one night you will have to soak it in water, and sometimes even once in 15 days should do, or once in a month should do, depends on the weather. So this is all the rituals I wanted to tell you about keeping the kalash. I hope you have liked this video. If so, please click on the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.